feels completely different down here.
What was that? That was behind me.
It was right here.
God.
Yeah.
Oh
It was
my
right
God.
here.
Oh my God, down there, down there.
What was that?
What the? Oh, we're not wanted here. We are en route to Gloucestershire and heading to one of the most notoriously haunted locations in the UK, the Ancient Ram Inn. Now, this place is stuff of legends, and we're all aware of this location and what is supposedly haunting this incredible place. How are we feeling ahead of the investigation, guys?
Well, I'm excited. This place has been on my list for ages to do. There's just incredible stories about the place, really dark stuff as well. You know, we're talking demons, we're talking witches, we're talking pagan burial sites. It could be mind-blowing, and I am excited, nervous but excited.
Yeah, and I think the fact that this location sits on the crossing between two ley lines, which intersects and originate from Stonehenge as well, it's crazy. And, you know, they found skeletons in the ancient grave. You know, children's skeletons that had daggers inside them. They were obviously used as part of a sacrifice, which is so disturbing. How are you feeling?
I'm excited. I mean, the stories of the place speak for themselves, really, don't they? But I just think we need to make sure we take a proper rational approach to the location itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to let our imaginations get away with us, considering the stories behind this location. You know, and it is such a shame as well that the owner, John Humphreys, has sadly passed away. You know, his stories will live on through the generations of what he experienced paranormal-wise through this place. This place was his entire work. It was his, you know, his entire life, really. He slept there, he lived there.
It tore his family apart, didn't it?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, rest in peace to John Humphreys. But we're going to get there now. We're going to do a walk around and we're going to see if the rumours are true about this location when the sun goes down, about the atmosphere dramatically changing. We're going to see if that's true and see if we can actually capture anything on the walk around. Let's do this. Built in 1145, the ancient Ram Inn was used as a keeping house for slaves and workers who constructed the nearby St Mary's Church. The inn has served as a private residence and also a hotel ever since. In 2017, the owner John Humphreys unfortunately passed away, but his stories and memories of the Ram will live on forever. John Humphreys spent his life at the Ancient Ram Inn, and his stories will go down in history. The things that he experienced at the Ancient Ram Inn, you know, he spent his entire life at the location, and to hear of his passing really did hit the paranormal world hard. John was a legend, and we can only wish that his soul rests in peace, really. For such an iconic figure in such an iconic location to suddenly pass, we can only send our thoughts out to his family, to his daughter, and to all the people that knew him, really, because there are so many people that passed through the Ancient Ram's Inn doors that met John, that shared his love for the building and also shared in his stories, which are really quite serious in some cases as well. Known as one of the most haunted buildings in the UK, the ancient Ram Inn is constantly opening its doors to paranormal investigators, and many believe that the location of the Ram is key to its paranormal activity. The ancient Ram Inn is famous in the UK for its hauntings, and I think what makes this really interesting is the fact that it lies on intersecting ley lines which originate from Stonehenge. There are not many haunted locations that actually sit on such a position in this country. So could that play a part in the hauntings? The rumours certainly suggest so. I guess we'll find out. Not only does the ancient Ram Inn sit on this very interesting point where two ley lines intersect, but it is also believed an ancient pagan burial ground once lay on this very site over 5,000 years ago. The supposed hauntings of this fascinating location have intrigued millions of people from all over the world, and there has been some very interesting evidence captured over the years. One of the most famous stories surrounding the ancient Ram Inn is the tale of a witch who was burnt at the stake in the 16th century. It is believed that the woman took refuge in one of the rooms before she was captured, and that room is now known as the Witch's Room. Many believe they have seen and heard this woman.
One of the places that I'm really looking forward to investigating actually is the Witch's Room. The stories that go along with that room are really, really fascinating. The woman that got burnt and hid out in the ancient Ram. And I think it would be really good to do some EVP bursts in that room and see whether we can capture any voices.
The most haunted room in the ancient Ram Inn is believed to be the Bishop's Room. Many years ago, the hoof of a goat was found buried in the wall. When the Ram served as a hotel, many guests would leave this room in the middle of the night after witnessing terrifying paranormal activity. The ghost of a monk is believed to appear in this room.
I think one area of the Ram that really intrigues me is probably the Bishop's Room. I mean, the stories of a monk appearing in the room, apparently it's one of the most active rooms in the house, and a goat's hoof is said to have been found in one of the walls of the room, so that's quite strange.
The most disturbing fact behind the ancient Ram Inn is that it has provided evidence of satanic rituals. John Humphreys discovered the skeletal remains of children in a grave. Broken daggers were found within the skeletons, and the grave can still be seen today. John claimed for many years, right up until his death, that the inn was plagued by an incubus and succubus, two demons that appear as beautiful men and women during the night. These demonic entities are believed to lure their victims into sexual intercourse in an attempt to spawn the devil's children. John Humphreys believed he was being targeted by the incubus demon on a regular basis and was supposedly dragged from his bed on numerous occasions by an unseen force. The hoof of a goat, skeletal remains, an ancient grave, and the supposed presence of two demonic entities. It is no wonder the ancient Ram Inn is known as one of the most terrifying and haunted locations in the UK, and we are going to spend 24 hours locked inside. The ancient Ram Inn, one of the most notoriously haunted locations in the UK. Let's see what's behind your walls. Ahead of the investigation, Becky, Emma and myself decided to explore the Ram during the day to get a sense of the atmosphere before we spent the night locked inside. This place is seriously creepy. Look at that big cross on the staircase there.
Oh.